I'm going to tell you why we don't give water to accident victims. So if you ever run into someone that has been in an accident and they are desperately asking you to give them some water, naturally you want to help them, and instinctively you think that because they're asking for water, that is probably the best way to help them at the time. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why that might be exactly what will. The first point, it's a choking hazard. Accident victims are usually in some kind of shock, or they've suffered a head trauma. So this means that they can either lose consciousness or forget the reflex to swallow. And when that happens, if you give them water, the water might sit in their mouth, and instead of going down their throat, it will go to their lungs and they can suffocate. The second reason would be for emergency surgery preparations. Usually when someone has been in a serious accident and they are sent to the hospital immediately, they are usually taken into surgery. And because of surgery, they would need anesthesia. Anesthesia does something to your stomach muscles. It causes it to relax. So if their stomach muscles are relaxed, the water that they've taken in would then cause them to vomit while they are unconscious. And when that happens, it causes a lung infection, and that's another big problem. It could be fatal. The third point, which I think is probably the most important of them all, internal bleeding. The truth is, when someone has been in an accident, more often than not, when they are seriously asking for water, it means that they are losing blood and losing it fast. So what might seem like dehydration, what might seem like thirst to you, is actually your body trying to regain the blood that it is losing. When you give them water in that state, it causes their blood to thin out, and then it will now make clotting to be difficult. So now their blood can no longer congeal fast enough to plug the points where it's bleeding. Then they bleed out. And what do you do if you see someone that has been in an accident and they're asking for water? Here's what you should do instead. Get a napkin or a cloth, wet it, and just dab it on their lips. Your goal at that moment is to keep their airway completely free and accessible for when they get medical help. I hope this helps.
Okay, this is a very, very highly educative video from this our sister. You know, sometimes me myself, I always ask this question: why is it that? Because I have seen at least 2 times where accident victims were taken to the hospital. They were begging for water, but to my greatest surprise, the nurses there and other medical practitioners, they will bluntly refuse to give them water. Even there was a case in Enugu one certain time, the family members, they wanted to fight the nurse, you know, they want to force water on the guy, and the nurse there fought them back. She was so strong that she overpowered them and told them, if you give this guy this water, if he buy, do you understand? Then I was like, what did they happen now? Why they not allow this guy drink water? But now this our sister don't make them clear, very, very clear to us. This is the kind of video we want to be seeing from Nigerians. Not be every time we go to talk nonsense, we go to talk nyansh, waiting we no get meaning. This is the kind of video, we need to be, we need to be discussing on in Nigeria. Because so many the social media has become so rotten, so bad that Nigerians don't even know what they do with it again. Some just use it for creating unnecessary content. This our sister, she elaborated everything clearly, smoothly for everybody to understand. Everything she said, in fact, she download them straight inside us. Proper download. And so she do them. So I believe everybody must have learned something from this. She said everything, the reasons why you shouldn't give accident victims water. And after watching this video, I believe her. I believe what she said is right. I completely believe everything she said. And I believe that others must have learned from what she said, because if you look at her, she's like a medical practitioner. She's a professional, and she's just giving out her professional advice to people, to novices like us that are not into the field of, that are not into the medical field. So she gave all this advice, and I believe that we are going to learn from this and put it in practice. Thank you, my sister, for giving us this kind of advice. It will save a lot of souls.